She was her own aunt and her own cousin, and she ruled an empire. Today, we'll unravel the disturbing legacy of royal inbreeding, from deformities hidden by velvet gowns to bloodlines tangled like spaghetti. The final entry will genuinely disturb you. If you had to marry your cousin or give up your crown, would you? Comment bloodline if you'd do it for power, or break it if you'd end the dynasty. Joanna of Castile, the Mad Queen or genetic collapse. What if history's most infamous mad woman was just the product of centuries of poor breeding choices? Joanna of Castile, heir to one of the largest empires in Europe, descended from generations of intermarried royals, cousins, uncles, and nieces weaving a genetic web too tangled to escape. By the time Joanna was born, her DNA was a tight loop of repetition. She was locked away for over 50 years, outliving everyone who silenced her. Her story warns us. Hereditary power without genetic foresight leads to disaster. Today, psychologists suspect her supposed madness may have been bipolar disorder, intensified by recessive genes and severe trauma. She wasn't just tragic. She was engineered by dynasty. Maria I of Portugal, deafness, madness, and the Habsburg legacy. Imagine ruling a kingdom while battling voices no one else can hear. Maria I, known as Maria the Mad, was the daughter of King José Norse and Mariana Victoria, both descended from the same Habsburg stock that had been recycling genes for centuries. As Portugal's first queen regnant, she began her reign with promise, but soon spiraled into religious mania, catatonia, and auditory hallucinations. Her confessor claimed she screamed for hours, haunted by sins she hadn't committed. Mental illness may be unpredictable, but family trees often aren't. Modern historians link her breakdown to inherited schizophrenia-like symptoms, made worse by intense religious guilt and chronic grief. Cleopatra, royal lover, sister wife, political genius. What if your bloodline demanded you marry your brother twice? Cleopatra VII, last queen of Egypt's Ptolemaic dynasty, wasn't just a seductress or stateswoman. She was also the product of nearly 300 years of sibling marriage. The Ptolemies copied Egyptian pharaohs, marrying within the family to preserve divine blood. The result? Fragile heirs, paranoia, and sudden deaths. Cleopatra ruled brilliantly, but her lineage was already genetically cornered. Keeping bloodlines pure often breeds dysfunction, not divinity. She outmaneuvered Rome's most powerful men, yet her dynasty crumbled with her. No heirs strong enough to carry it forward. Empress Zita, the last of the pure-blooded Habsburgs. Empress Zita of Austria was the living symbol of a dynasty's genetic dead end. Married to Emperor Charles the Martyr, she descended from generations of royal cousin marriages, which left their children vulnerable to inherited illnesses and deformities. Their youngest son was born with severe disabilities, a stark reminder that power's price is sometimes written in DNA. Their empire fell not just to war, but to biology's silent siege. Legacy without genetic diversity is a fragile legacy. Zita lived into exile, witnessing her family's slow fading, proof that bloodlines must evolve or perish. Princess Victoria Melita, one man, two roles. Imagine marrying your first cousin, who's also your uncle. Princess Victoria Melita's family ties were so twisted, she shared genes with her husband from multiple angles. Their marriage was marred by scandal, emotional turmoil, and infertility. Despite royal status, their union was a cautionary tale of how tangled bloodlines can damage even the most powerful families. Blood ties don't guarantee happiness or health. Choose your partner wisely. Biology isn't negotiable. Their story reminds us, power can't fix what nature breaks. Isabel IX of Spain, queen at 13, pawn for cousins. At just 13, Isabel IX was thrust into a royal marriage with her double first cousin, a union designed to keep power in the family. Yet beneath the velvet curtains, Isabella struggled with her own identity. Court whispers suggested she preferred women over her husband. Infertility, rumors of affairs, and political unrest shadowed her reign. Bloodlines may have stayed pure, but personal freedom did not. Even crowns can't force the heart's hand. Her story teaches power gained through control can backfire in unexpected ways. Archduchess Maria Theresa, the mother of Europe's decline. She gave birth to 16 children, each carefully married off to maintain alliances within Europe's royal families. But this obsession with keeping power in the family came at a steep cost. Many of her descendants suffered genetic disorders and early deaths. Maria Theresa's legacy was a tangled web of kinship, loyalty, and unintentional biological damage. Her empire's future was written in chromosomes, not just treaties. Dynastic obsession blinds us to science. Her story reminds rulers, nurture your bloodline and your blood's health. Princess Charlotte of Belgium, madness in the Mexican court. Sent far from Europe, Princess Charlotte's royal bloodline couldn't protect her from despair. After marrying Emperor Maximilian of Mexico, political chaos and family inbreeding took a toll. She suffered terrifying delusions and paranoia, convinced enemies poisoned her. Madness gripped her, a tragic shadow cast by genetics and circumstance. When the gene pool narrows, minds often unravel. Even empires need genetic renewal. Her breakdown shows that power can't shield against inherited curses. Queen Victoria's descendants, hemophilia. Across Europe, Queen Victoria unwittingly became the carrier of hemophilia, a deadly blood disorder that spread through Europe's royal houses like a hidden curse. Her grandsons and great-grandsons, including the heir to Russia's throne, bled to death from minor injuries, turning royal courts into places of quiet tragedy. A royal kiss could become a death sentence. Recessive genes don't discriminate by rank. This legacy warns that appearances can hide deadly secrets. The Austrian Habsburg jaw, a face, made by inbreeding. By the 1600s, the Habsburgs were infamous for one genetic hallmark, the pronounced Habsburg jaw. This severe mandibular prognathism caused speech difficulties and chewing problems, visibly marking generations of rulers. Charles II of Spain, the most famous sufferer, struggled to speak clearly and eat solid food. Their faces told a genetic horror story no portrait could hide. Physical traits reveal hidden family secrets. The jaw was more than a quirk. It was a warning etched in bone. Charles II was the tragic endpoint of decades of inbreeding. His family tree more a circle than a branch. Sterile, epileptic, and plagued by drooling and developmental delays, he couldn't speak until he was 4. His parents were uncle and niece, concentrating harmful recessive genes. He embodied an empire crumbling from within, not just without. Ignoring biology can topple kingdoms. Charles's life was a cautionary tale written in his very DNA. Anne of Brittany, twice a queen, always a genetic sacrifice. Anne of Brittany married 2 consecutive kings of France, first Charles VIII, then Louis XI, in a desperate effort to keep her duchy independent. But her womb became a battlefield for dynastic survival. She endured at least 14 pregnancies, with only 2 children surviving infancy. Many died from complications likely linked to interrelated royal blood. 2 kings, countless losses, no lasting legacy. Repetition in marriage doesn't rewrite genetic risks. Anne's story reveals the human cost hidden behind political strategy. History's most powerful women were often also its most genetically doomed. Royal inbreeding wasn't just tradition, it was a gamble with blood, minds, and futures.